The universe has spent your entire life preparing you for this message, and at last, you're ready to receive what has been waiting for you. You might think this is just another video that happened to pop up in your feed, but nothing in this universe is accidental. Every moment, every click, every choice has been orchestrated so that you would hear these words right now. Your presence here, watching these lines unfold, is no coincidence. You were guided because you're ready for something bigger, something that can upend everything you think you know about your life and your potential. This isn't a throwaway motivational clip you'll forget in an hour. It's your wake-up call. The universe has a quirky way of delivering exactly what we need at the very moment we need it most. And if this message reached you today, it's because you're standing on the brink of something extraordinary. Maybe you've been restless lately, sensing that something must change, but unable to put your finger on it. Maybe you've been looking for a sign, waiting for someone to tell you that there's more to life than what you're living right now. Well, here it is. The fact that you clicked this video and are still listening proves you're ready to step into the version of yourself you've only imagined. Yet, what I'm about to share will matter only if you're truly willing to receive it. Some people will watch and shrug it off, but you're different. You're here because your soul knows it's time to transform. Before we go on, subscribe to the channel, and if you're ready to accept the message the universe has been shaping for you, type in the comments, "I'm ready to transform." Think back to times when certain events seemed random in the moment, but later revealed themselves as exactly what needed to happen. That's not wishful thinking or coincidence. It's how the universe operates through what we call synchronicity. And understanding this principle will completely change how you experience reality. When you woke up this morning, you had no idea this video would find you. You could have kept scrolling through countless others, but something stopped you here. That something wasn't a calculated decision by your logical mind. It was your higher self recognizing that this moment was meant for you. The universe doesn't move in straight lines or logical sequences. It works through an intricate web of timing, energy, and connections that our limited human perspective can barely grasp. Every person you've met, every challenge, every joy, and every struggle has been preparing you for this exact point in your journey. Think about the major turning points in your life. Were they meticulously planned? Did you wake up one morning and simply decide to change direction? More likely, life handed you circumstances that seemed to choose you. Maybe you lost a job that led you to your true calling. Maybe you ended a relationship that made room for real love. Maybe you faced a crisis that unearthed a strength you never knew you had. This video finding you now is no different. You're in a moment of readiness you might not even fully realize yet. An opening. Your consciousness is expanding, your awareness growing, and the universe is responding by delivering exactly the information and energy you need to make your next evolutionary leap. What makes this even more powerful is that you're becoming aware of the process. Most people spend their lives reacting to events, unaware they're part of a larger orchestration. But you're different. You're awakening to the fact that you're not a victim of circumstances. You're a co-creator with the universe itself. The question isn't whether everything happens for a reason. The question is whether you're ready to recognize those reasons and align with the flow of your highest potential. Deep inside, there's a voice that has been growing louder lately. It may whisper during quiet moments or shout in times of frustration, but it always says the same thing. There has to be more. Sound familiar? That voice isn't a product of your imagination or a fantasy to escape reality. It's the authentic self calling you home. The part of you that knows you're capable of extraordinary things, even when your current circumstances suggest the opposite. Maybe you feel it as a restlessness, as though time is slipping by and you haven't even started living your real life. Maybe it shows up as a deep knowing that you have talents and gifts waiting to be expressed. This call isn't asking you to abandon everything and move to a mountaintop. It's asking you to remember that you came here with a purpose and with gifts only you can offer the world. Settling for less than your potential isn't humility. It's disrespectful to the universe that created you. The beauty of that inner voice is that it never gives up on you. It may quiet down when the noise of daily life distracts you, but it never goes away. It's been with you since childhood, growing stronger each year, preparing you for the moment you'd finally be ready to listen. That moment is now. Recognizing, naming, and embracing this feeling means you're ready to stop ignoring it and start following it. Your inner call isn't just a pleasant idea or a spiritual concept. It's your roadmap to a life that fully matches who you really are. Here's something that might surprise you. The biggest obstacle between you and the life you want isn't a lack of opportunities, resources, or even talent. It's your attachment to who you used to be. Are you willing to let go of that version of yourself? Most people think letting go means forgetting the past or pretending their experiences don't matter. That's not what we're talking about. Your past shaped you, taught you, and brought you to this moment of readiness. The issue isn't the past itself. It's your attachment to the stories you keep telling about what the past means. When you say, "I'm bad with money because my family was poor," or "I can't trust people because I've been hurt," or "I'm not creative because someone once told me so," you're choosing to live from old programming instead of present possibilities. You're letting conclusions you reached years, maybe decades, ago dictate what's possible for you today. Here's the exciting part. Those stories were never true. They were interpretations you made with limited information and limited awareness. The person who decided what was possible back then didn't have the wisdom, experience, or consciousness you have now. Think of a time you surprised yourself by doing something you never thought possible. In that moment, you stepped outside the old story and allowed a new version of yourself to emerge. That feeling wasn't a fluke. It was a glimpse of your authentic potential, free of past limitations. Letting go isn't a one-time event. It's a practice. Catching yourself when you're about to tell an old limiting story and choosing instead to tell a new one about your possibilities. The version of you that's emerging doesn't need the defense mechanisms you adopted as a child, the limiting beliefs you embraced when you didn't know better, or the emotional patterns that helped you survive circumstances that no longer exist. What it needs is space, and you create that space by releasing what no longer serves you. Every time you drop an outdated belief about yourself, you make room for something magnificent to take its place. If you really want to understand how reality works, you must grasp this fundamental truth. The present moment is the only place creation happens. Everything else is just memory or imagination. Yet, how often do you actually live here? Most people spend their days swinging between regret over the past and anxiety about the future, missing the only moment in which they have any power at all. While the now, brimming with infinite possibilities, slips by unnoticed. They replay conversations from years ago or worry about scenarios that may never occur. But when you truly inhabit the present, something magical happens. You stop being a victim of circumstances and become a conscious creator of your experience. You realize that right here, right now, is where you decide who you are and how you're going to show up in the world. This isn't just philosophy. It's practical, measurable reality. Every emotion you feel, every thought you think, every action you take happens in the now. Your entire life is nothing but a chain of interconnected present moments, and the quality of your attention in each instant determines the quality of your whole existence. When you're fully present, you become open to opportunities you would otherwise miss. You notice synchronicities that would normally pass you by. You make decisions from wisdom instead of fear, because you're not overshadowed by past conditioning or future worry. Think about the times you've felt most alive, most connected, most yourself. Were you dwelling on yesterday or tomorrow? Or were you fully immersed in what was right in front of you? That state of presence isn't something you stumble into by accident. It's something you can consciously cultivate. The present moment is also where you access intuition, creativity, and your deepest knowing. When your mind is scattered across time, you can't hear that delicate guidance that's always available. But when you settle into now, you open yourself to a wisdom that goes far beyond the thinking mind. Your power lives here. Your joy lives here. Your peace lives here. And most importantly, your ability to create the life you want lives here. The universe is always communicating with you, but it doesn't use words or text messages. Instead, it speaks through patterns, repetitions, and the sorts of events most people dismiss as coincidence. You think of someone you haven't talked to in years, and they call you that same day. You see the same sequence of numbers everywhere you go. You keep meeting the same type of person, or encountering the same situation, until you finally pay attention to what it's trying to teach you. These aren't random events. They're the universe's way of getting your attention, confirming you're on the right path, or gently steering you towards something important. But here's the key. You have to be present and aware enough to recognize these signals when they appear. Most people are so caught up in the noise of everyday life that they miss this subtle communication entirely, busy forcing their own agendas while life is trying to hand them something better. As your awareness expands, you begin to notice these patterns everywhere. You start to understand how exquisitely sensitive the universe is to your energy, intentions, and level of consciousness. When you're aligned with your highest good, you get confirmation through synchronicities. When you push against the natural flow, you encounter resistance and obstacles. Learning this language isn't about superstition or finding meaning in everything. It's about developing the sensitivity to realize that life is always supporting, guiding, or redirecting you towards something better. The more you practice this awareness, the more sophisticated the communication becomes. Guidance shows up not just through external events, but through your body, your emotions, and your dreams. You become fluent in the universe's native tongue. What if everything you've been taught about the limits of human potential is wrong? What if your brain is far more flexible, your consciousness far more powerful, and your capacity for change far deeper than you ever imagined? The intersection of modern neuroscience and ancient wisdom is revealing something extraordinary. Your brain doesn't merely control your reality, it literally creates it. Every thought you think, every emotion you feel, every belief you hold carves neural pathways that form the physical basis of your experience. And here's the revolutionary part. You can consciously redesign those pathways. For decades, I've devoted my research to proving that transformation isn't just possible. It's built into the very structure of human consciousness. Through studies with thousands of people, we've shown that when you combine an elevated emotion with a clear intention, you can literally reprogram your brain to create new realities. This isn't positive thinking or wishful manifestation. It's measurable, scientific fact. When you repeatedly focus on who you want to be instead of who you've been, your brain starts firing in new patterns. Those patterns form new neural networks, and those networks become the biological foundation for a completely different version of you. The old model told us personality is fixed, emotional patterns are permanent, and we're essentially stuck as whoever early experiences made us. Neuroscience has shattered those limitations. Your brain remains changeable, malleable, and responsive to conscious direction throughout your life. Every time you catch yourself in an old emotional reaction and choose a different response, you are literally reprogramming your nervous system. Every time you vividly imagine your ideal future with genuine feeling, you activate the same brain regions that would fire if that future were actually happening. Your brain doesn't know the difference between a vividly imagined experience and a real one, which means you can start living from your future self right now. You can disrupt the automatic programs running your life and install new ones that align with who you intend to become. You can free yourself from the emotional addictions and thought patterns that keep you stuck in repeating the same experiences over and over. What makes this process so powerful is that it isn't about suppressing or fighting your old patterns. It's about becoming so clear and emotionally connected to your new vision that the old patterns lose their grip on you. When you get genuinely excited about who you're becoming, you naturally stop investing energy in who you used to be. The science is clear. When you apply these principles consistently, transformation isn't just possible, it's inevitable. Your brain is waiting for you to give it new instructions. Most people think visualization is just daydreaming with extra steps, but they miss something crucial. When you visualize with genuine emotion and clear intent, you're not merely imagining a different future. You're beginning to live it. Your brain processes imagined experiences almost the same way it processes real ones. When you see yourself succeeding, achieving, or experiencing something wonderful in your mind, your nervous system reacts as though it's really happening. That's not just an interesting fact. It's the key to reprogramming your entire reality. Here's where most people get it wrong. They visualize from their current emotional state instead of the emotional state of their future self. They feel broke and imagine having more money. They feel lonely and imagine being in love. They feel like a failure and picture success. This creates an internal conflict that pushes their desires further away. True visualization requires stepping into the emotional frequency of the reality you want before it physically appears. You must feel grateful for success before you achieve it, worthy of love before it arrives, abundant before your bank account reflects it. This isn't pretending or self-deception. It's emotional preparation, training your nervous system to be comfortable in the energy of your dreams so that when opportunities arise, you're ready to receive them instead of sabotaging them with unworthiness or fear. When you combine clear mental images with elevated emotions like gratitude, joy, and excitement, you create what's called a coherent energy field. That field doesn't just change your internal state. It influences the quantum field around you, attracting experiences that match your energetic signature. The most successful people in every field intuitively understand this principle. They don't just work hard toward their goals. They live with the feeling of having already achieved them. They make decisions from their future selves, not their current circumstances. Your intention acts like a GPS for the universe. Once you become crystal clear about what you want and align your emotions with that vision, you start noticing opportunities, people, and resources that were always there but invisible at your previous level of awareness. It feels like magic, but it's simply the natural outcome of aligning your consciousness with your deepest desires. Beyond the world of matter, you can see and touch lies an invisible realm of limitless possibilities. That's not science fiction or wishful thinking. It's quantum physics. And understanding your connection to this field will radically alter the way you create your life. Everything that exists, including you, is made of energy vibrating at different frequencies. Your thoughts have a frequency. Your emotions have a frequency. Your desires, fears, and beliefs all emit energetic signatures that interact with the quantum field of pure potential surrounding you at every moment. Most people live as though they're separate from this field, like solid objects moving through empty space, pushing and shoving to get what they want. But research shows something far more empowering. You're not separate from the field. You're an active participant in it, constantly broadcasting signals that determine what you draw into your experience. When your thoughts and emotions are chaotic, scattered, or focused on what you don't want, you send mixed signals that attract more chaos and confusion. But when your mind and heart are coherent, aligned around a clear vision, you become a powerful antenna that draws experiences matching your signal. This is why meditation and mindfulness are so transformative. They're not just stress reduction techniques. They're technologies for tuning in to the quantum field more consciously. When you quiet the noise of everyday thinking and tap into the stillness beneath it, you connect with the source of all creation. In that connection, you stop trying to control how your desires will manifest and open yourself to solutions and opportunities your limited thinking mind could never imagine. You shift from forcing to allowing, from struggle to flow, from scarcity to abundance. The quantum field responds not to what you do, but to who you are, your energetic signature, your level of consciousness, your emotional state, your true intentions. You can't fake manifestation. The field responds to authenticity, not performance. That's why doing the inner work, healing old wounds, raising your consciousness, isn't selfish. It's the most practical thing you can do. Every time you choose love over fear, presence over distraction, or growth over comfort, you raise your signal and access higher possibilities in the field. The most astonishing part of this understanding is that it puts you back in the driver's seat of your life. You're not at the mercy of random circumstances or other people's decisions. You're a conscious co-creator with the infinite intelligence that orchestrates everything from planetary motion to the beating of your heart. Your connection to this field isn't something you have to develop. It's something you have to remember. You were never disconnected. Now you simply need to use that connection consciously. As these words reach your awareness, something deep inside you is shifting. You might feel excitement, recognition, or even a hint of fear that comes from standing on the edge of real change. That feeling, no matter what your mind tries to argue, is confirmation that you're already ready. Readiness isn't something you earn or develop over years of preparation. It doesn't depend on having more information, resources, or confidence. Readiness is a recognition, a waking up to capacities that have always lived within you, waiting for the right moment to emerge. If you weren't ready, would you have drawn this message to yourself? If your consciousness weren't already expanding, would these ideas make any sense? If your soul weren't prepared for transformation, would you feel that spark of possibility right now? The fact that you've stayed with these ideas instead of brushing them aside proves you're not preparing to be ready. You're experiencing it right this moment. Most people want external validation before they believe in their potential. They want someone else to tell them they're ready, or they want to feel completely confident before taking the first step. But readiness doesn't feel like certainty. It feels like excitement mixed with uncertainty, possibility mixed with vulnerability. Your journey of conscious evolution doesn't begin when you feel ready. It begins when you realize that the "I'm not ready yet" feeling is just your old self trying to keep you safe in familiar territory. The expanded self, calling you forward, doesn't need you to feel ready. It needs you to trust the process and take the next step anyway. The universe has been preparing you for this moment your entire life. Every experience, every challenge, every growth point has built toward this recognition. You are ready for the extraordinary life waiting for you. As we reach the end of this journey together, take a moment to notice what's different inside you compared with when you first clicked play. Something has shifted, hasn't it? That's not your imagination. It's the natural outcome of consciousness recognizing itself and remembering its true power. The universe works in perfect harmony, coordinating billions of events every second to bring each person exactly what they need for their highest evolution. The fact that this message found you today, that these words resonate with something deep inside you, that you've stayed present through the entire experience, all of it is proof you're exactly where you're meant to be. But understanding these principles is only the beginning. Without practice, knowledge remains just interesting information. Real transformation happens when you start living from these truths, when you make decisions from your future self instead of past conditioning, when you choose presence over distraction and possibility over limitation. Life will now bring daily opportunities to practice what you've learned. Every interaction will offer a chance to respond from expanded awareness rather than old programming. Every challenge will invite you to trust the process and allow your highest good to unfold. That call you felt, the inner voice that brought you here, won't disappear. In fact, now that you've acknowledged it, it will grow stronger and clearer. Listen to it, trust it, follow it wherever it leads, because it's guiding you toward the version of yourself you came here to be. Remember, transformation isn't a destination, it's a way of traveling. You don't reach enlightenment and then coast for the rest of your life. You wake up every day and choose growth over comfort, love over fear, expansion over contraction. Share this message with someone who's ready to awaken to their highest potential. By passing it on, you become part of the grand orchestration that brought this video to you in the first place. Your extraordinary life isn't something that will arrive someday. It exists right now, in this moment, through your conscious choice to align with who you really are. The time is now. You are ready. The universe is waiting for you to step into your greatness.